Welcome to today's news wrap up. Let's dive right into the top stories making headlines today. The Biden administration's IRS has been caught leaking the taxpayer information of over 400,000 Americans, including former President Trump. This revelation comes as leftists are suing to stop the Department of Government Efficiency over privacy concerns. That's rich, right? The House Judiciary Committee disclosed that the IRS had initially downplayed the extent of the leak, admitting to only 70,000 affected individuals, while the actual number exceeds 405,000. Wow. Elon Musk, in response to the news, questioned the public's trust in the government. This scandal contrasts with Musk and Doge's efforts to protect personal information and expose government corruption. A former Connecticut high school student, Alicia Ortiz, is suing her teachers and the Hartford Public School District for $3 million. Ortiz claims she graduated without being able to read or write due to a lack of support for her learning disability. This is wild. I see this all the time. These teachers are just pushing through students that can't even read. I mean, I've had clients where I would give them worksheets and they couldn't read it, or we would try to do assessments and they couldn't read the assessments. I'm like, how do you make it so far in school? And they say, well, the teachers just pass me anyway. This is exactly why we need to get rid of the Department of Education, because they are failing our children. Well, she alleges that her special education teacher, Tilda Santiago, bullied and humiliated her instead of providing necessary help. Despite her struggles, Ortiz managed to improve her grades and graduate, but feels deeply hurt by her school experience. She hopes her lawsuit will lead to improvements in the education system to prevent other students from facing similar challenges. The lawsuit also targets the Hartford Board of Education and the city of Hartford for their role in her academic struggles. Crazy stuff. A freelance columnist detailed his experience visiting the USAID office in Cairo. He described the heavily secured military-style compound and his interactions with security personnel who became suspicious when he asked about President Trump's order to slash USAID activities. During a second visit, security guards detained him and called the police, resulting in a tense standoff. The columnist highlighted the troubling behavior of USAID, which he believes acts more like an intelligence agency than a humanitarian organization. And that he hit the nail on the head right there, because they aren't there for humane things, for humanitarian missions. They are an intelligence agency. He emphasized the need for accountability and transparency in the organization's operations. Journalist Michael Shellenberger has exposed ongoing corruption within the FBI, revealing that employees are allegedly destroying evidence. That is highly illegal. Former FBI agent Garrett O'Boyle, who previously testified about the agency's misconduct, supports these claims and has been in communication with FBI Director Kash Patel. O'Boyle warned that if evidence is erased from standalone servers, recovery may be nearly impossible, even with the help of Elon Musk's team. Schellenberger's findings highlight the serious implications of evidence destruction and the need for accountability within the FBI. The news has sparked widespread concern and calls for thorough investigations into the agency's actions. I mean, they are not giving up. They are doing everything they can to protect themselves. I'm talking about the deep state. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has proposed replacing terms like mother and father with more inclusive language, such as inseminated person. That's just ridiculous. And parent in state law. So they want to get rid of mother and father and call them inseminated. These leftists are lunatics. But this move aims to provide legal certainty for those using IVF and to promote gender-neutral terms like spouse instead of wife or husband. Critics, including Republican officials, argue that these changes are offensive and out of touch with societal norms. Absolutely. Governor Evers defends the proposal, emphasizing that it focuses on legal clarity rather than wokeness. No, that is not legal clarity. It's confusing. Changing language like this is confusing. How can he call it legal clarity? The debate has sparked significant controversy and discussions about the balance between inclusivity and traditional language. Leave it the same. Representative Darrell Issa has introduced the No Rogue Ruling Act, or NORA, to limit the reach of federal judges' injunctions. The bill proposes that district courts issue injunctive relief only for parties directly involved in a legal case, aiming to prevent judiciary tyranny and the weaponization of courts. Issa argues that universal injunctions have been used to hinder President Trump's agenda, exacerbating judge shopping and undermining the executive branch. The bill has gained support among Republicans, and the White House press secretary has criticized the wave of judicial actions against Trump's policies as a constitutional crisis. The committee has set a deadline of March 17th for the FBI to comply. Reports have surfaced about intelligence community officials engaging in explicit conversations during work hours. I mean, some despicable things they were doing on government computers. Members from agencies such as the CIA, NSA, and DIA were involved in inappropriate chats discussing graphic sexual content. I can't even disclose some of the topics they were talking about on here on YouTube. This activity was reportedly part of a broader DEI initiative within the intelligence community. This is why DEI has to go. The CIA has responded, stating that those involved will face swift action and accountability. Liz Lyons, the director of public affairs at Langley, emphasized the need for serious reform in light of these events. Critics have also pointed out that the media's relative silence on the issue. Of course, why would they talk about that? They love DEI. A new poll shows that Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's favorability rating has dropped to a record low of 6.6%, with a 79.9 unfavorability rating. Wow, so almost 80% of Chicago do not like this man. Where's the recall? Why haven't they recalled him yet? Only 6.6 people approve of him? Wow. How can he still have a job? The concerns over his handling of crime and illegal immigration have fueled discontent among residents. Hypothetical candidates for the 2027 mayoral race, including Paul Vallis and Alexei Giannalis, currently enjoy higher favorability ratings. Johnson, who previously advocated for defunding the police, faces significant challenges in regaining public support as crime rates and the influx of illegal immigrants continue to impact the city. The poll reflects a growing dissatisfaction with Johnson's leadership since his election in April 2023. Lawmakers are expressing concerns over the New Jersey Turnpike Authority's decision to award an Easy Pass contract to a Singaporean-owned company with alleged ties to the Chinese Communist Party. Have lawmakers not figured out yet that the Chinese Communist Party do not have our best interests at heart? In fact, if you go in business with these companies, you're inviting the CCP into your area. Like, have they not figured that out yet? I don't understand it. State Senator Joe Panaccio has highlighted that the parent company, Singapore Technologies Engineering, STE, had a former CCP member on its board. The contract involves personal information such as driver license and credit card numbers. U.S. Representative Josh Gaudimer emphasized the risk of America's data falling into the hands of adversaries like China. Both Democratic and Republican lawmakers are urging for a thorough review to ensure national security and privacy protections. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to make healthcare costs more transparent, aiming to empower patients as consumers to drive down prices. This order requires insurers to disclose the actual costs of common tests and procedures traditionally kept confidential through private negotiations. Critics argue that such transparency could raise premiums and strip hospitals of their negotiating power. Why wouldn't you want transparency? I don't get it. The move follows another order to expand access to in vitro fertilization, and reduce its costs. Remember, IVF, the same thing that they were saying during the 2024 campaign, they tried to say Trump was trying to get rid of. Remember that lie? While some believe this will help families, others like Senator Tammy Duckworth argue that Trump's policies threaten IVF access. What? How? Urging him to support legislation for insurance coverage of IVF. The impact of these changes on healthcare market remains uncertain. Lastly, Elon Musk addressed false claims by the Associated Press, more fake news, which reported that 21 employees from the Department of Government Efficiency resigned to avoid violating their oath to the American people. Musk clarified these individuals were actually Democratic political holdovers who refused to return to the office and would have been fired had they not resigned. This misinformation, or straight out lies, have raised questions about the integrity of AP's reporting. The incident highlights the ongoing tension between the media and the current administration's effort to reduce government inefficiency. That's all for today's news wrap up. Stay tuned for more updates and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.